Hello everyone. Today we are starting a new chapter, chapter number 10, circles. Now what is a circle? It is a collection of all those points in a plane which are equidistant from a fixed point. Now when we say that equidistant, that constant distance is called the radius and the fixed point is called the center. Okay. So I have drawn a figure which will give you a rough idea of everything which we have already dealt. First thing which we are discussing is center. Center, you can see that from this is known as the fixed point. From this fixed point, everywhere on the circle it has the same distance, and that same distance or the constant distance is called the radius. Okay, so this one I am just rubbing. Next thing is when we take the line which is passing through the center of the circle and its both ends lies on the circle, that is the diameter. Okay, diameter, and it is twice that of radius. Now again I am rubbing this one and just moving on to the next thing, that is diameter. Again, you know what is a chord. Chord is that line which divides a circle into two parts, not equal parts but two parts. Now diameter is also a chord. It is the longest chord. Now I am just rubbing this diameter part. Now you can see that you have a line here which is the chord, and this chord is breaking the whole circle into two parts, and those parts are known as segments. The bigger one will be the major segment, the smaller one will be the minor segment. Okay, but the diameter, if it is cutting the circle into two, both segments will be of equal measurement, now equal area. Now coming to this arc, what is an arc? This one is an arc. That means when you cut a cake piece from a cake, the shape in which you are cutting, right, this shape, this is your arc. Now this arc means here you can see one arc, this is again an arc, right? So two radius in between the portion, and this is arc, and this portion again is sector, this is also sector. The bigger one is major sector and this one is minor sector. Again, this is minor arc, means this one will be the major arc. These are the concepts which you have already studied in your earlier classes. Okay, so this was just a recap of all those things. Okay. Now we will consider certain situations in which you are provided with a line and a circle. So how it can arise, which all cases can arise. Okay, first case you can just see here we have a line PQ and a circle, and you can see that there is no common point between them. Such type of line which doesn't have anything in common as a common point with the circle is known as a non-intersecting line with respect to the circle. Non-intersecting line. Okay, this type of line is known as non-intersecting line. Now in the second case you can see that the line has been moved, that is it is touching the circle at two different points A and B, and this type of line when it touches the circle at two different points is called a secant of the circle. Secant of the circle. Okay, and in the third case you can see that the line is touching the circle only at a single point, at one point A, and in that case you will say that the line is a tangent to the circle, is a tangent to the circle. Okay, so you have three cases. Either it can be non-intersecting line, that means it is only with respect to the circle. Okay, this line is non-intersecting with respect to whom? With respect to the circle. So it is non-intersecting, either it can be secant or it can be a tangent. Okay, so this is the main thing which we are studying here, that is what is a tangent. A line which touches only at a single point on the circle is called a tangent. Okay, and secant is actually, you can just say that from secant, if you are moving this line like this, that means when A and B coincides, you will get a tangent. So you can say that tangent is a special case of secant. Okay. In your day-to-day life, you can see a well over which you have a pulley through which you can take water. So that represents, that is the pulley is representing actually a circle. When you have a rope over it and you are just pulling out the water with the help of that rope will touch only at one point when you are just moving like that, right? When you are moving to take the water out. So what the purpose is, you can just understand the concept of tangency using that pulley and the rope. If you are considering that rope to be a ray and the pulley to be a circle, then you can just find that it will touch like this only, at only a single point whenever it moves. That is, this circulates means this rope is also moving and it is touching only at a single point, and that will describe the tangency of the circle and the line. Okay, that line becomes, or the ray becomes, a tangent to the circle in that case. Okay. So what is a tangent? A tangent to a circle is a line that intersects the circle at only one point. It intersects the circle only at one point. So this line is known as the tangent to the circle. Okay, so it is known as tangent. Next thing is, there is only one tangent at a point of the circle. That means if I am trying to draw another line passing through the same point A, then that line will touch some other point on the circle. See, here you can see that it is touching at this point. Suppose this is Q1, it is touching at the point Q1 as well as A. That means that line RS is no more a tangent. What it will become? It will become a secant. That is the third point. You can just see the tangent to a circle is a special case of the secant. How it becomes a secant? When you are removing this line or moving this line and just making it to touch at one point, that secant becomes a tangent. So that's why we are saying that tangent is a special case of secant when the two endpoints of its corresponding chord coincides. Next is, there cannot be more than two tangents parallel to a given secant. That is, if we are drawing certain lines parallel to the secant PQ. So here I have taken PQ as the secant and we have drawn certain lines parallel to the secant, and we can see that we can only draw to the maximum of two tangents which are parallel to the secant. That means remaining are not tangents. Only this AB and CD is acting as, they are acting as the tangents to the secant, sorry, to the circle, and both of them are parallel to the secant PQ. That means there cannot be more than two tangents parallel to the given secant. Next thing is, the common point of the tangent and the circle is called the point of contact. So this is a circle, drawn a tangent to it. So it is touching at a point here. Suppose this is O. So this point O is called the point of contact. Okay. And the tangent is said to touch the circle at the common point. Touch the circle. So this is the thing where we say that the tangent is touching the circle. And that point is called point of contact. Next is a theorem. And the theorem statement is, the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. That means, suppose we are provided with a circle and this is the center of the circle O. We have to prove that this xy is taken as the tangent. The tangent at any point, that any point is taken as P. So we have to prove that OP is perpendicular to xy. Okay, so how to prove? For proof, what we will start with, a circle is given. Okay, we are provided with a circle with center O and let xy be the tangent to the circle at the point P, meeting at the point or touching at the point P. Okay, this much is given to us, suppose. So what we need to prove? We have to prove that OP is perpendicular to xy. Now for that, what we are doing is, we are taking a point, another point Q on xy other than P. Okay, take a point Q on xy other than P. Now we are claiming that this Q will be a point outside the circle. Now why we can say that it is outside? Yes, surely it is outside the circle, because if it is inside the circle, suppose this Q is inside the circle, that means it is a point on XY. Now if this Q is a point inside the circle, that means this XY should go like this, right? Then only it will be inside. Q will be inside the circle. At that time, this XY is no more a tangent. Since we have taken XY as a tangent, tangent means it will meet the circle only at one point. But when this Q is inside the circle, this XY is going like this. That means it will be touching more than at one point, right? That means it will become a secant. So we can say that Q will be a point which is outside the circle. Okay, clearly Q is outside the circle. Understood the reason? Since if Q is inside the circle, then XY is will not be a secant, tangent. It will become a secant, will not be a tangent, but will become a secant. That's why we are saying that Q is outside the circle. Now since it is outside the circle and OP is the radius, we can say that the distance OP is smaller than OQ, or OQ will be greater than OP, right? So what we can say is OQ is greater than OP. Since OP is the radius and Q is outside the circle, you will have OQ is greater than OP. This distance will be bigger than this distance, right? Now if suppose I am taking some other point, suppose R, joining again, what will happen? This will be also having the same case, that is you will get OR is greater than OP. That means for any point lying on XY, the distance with that point from that O will be greater than the distance between O and P. Okay, so for any point, this happens for any point on the line XY except P. Okay, this will happen for every point which you are taking except that point P. Whatever point you are taking on XY, this is the only case which you are getting. That means the distance between that point and O will be greater than the distance between O and P. Therefore, OP is the shortest distance. What you can say? This point P will be giving that distance to be the smallest distance, or you can say OP is the shortest distance to the line XY. Okay, and now we know that the shortest distance is every time the perpendicular distance. What is the shortest distance? It will be every time to a line we will draw, it will be the perpendicular distance. Therefore, we can say that OP is perpendicular to XY. Okay, therefore OP is perpendicular to the line or to the tangent XY. Understood how? Because it is the shortest distance, we are getting it to be the shortest distance. It is nothing but the perpendicular distance. Okay, so OP is perpendicular to the tangent XY or to the line XY. So you can say that the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. Now, from this theorem, what we are getting is at any point on the circle, there can be one and only one tangent. That means point is fixed at that. From that point, you have to draw a tangent, means you can only draw one tangent, cannot draw more than one tangent from that point. Okay, so for a particular point, you have only one tangent. And the second thing is the line containing the radius through the point of contact. This is the point of contact. So the radius through the point of contact, that is also known as normal to the circle at that point. Okay, normal means it is the same meaning as perpendicular. So since it is, the radius is perpendicular to the tangent, it is also known as normal. Okay, starting with exercise 10.1, the first question is, how many tangents can a circle have? So we have discussed that for a circle, at a particular point, you can draw only one tangent. But if the question is how many tangents can a circle have, circle can have infinitely many tangents, like I have shown. For any point you can draw, that is, there are infinitely many points on a circle, we know. Okay, so at each point we can draw a tangent. That is, a particular point will have only one tangent, but a circle can have infinitely many tangents. So a circle can have infinitely many tangents. Okay, if it is a circle can have, the question is like that. But if the question is how many tangents can be drawn from a point on a circle, then it is only one. Okay, question number 2 is fill in the blanks. First one is, a tangent to a circle intersects it in. How many points a tangent intersect? 1. So intersect it in 1 point. Then second one is, a line intersecting a circle in 2 points is called, when it intersects at 2 points, you will say that it is a secant. Then a circle can have dash parallel tangents at the most. So the maximum, how many parallel lines or parallel tangents we can draw to a circle. If I am taking here a line parallel to it, I can just draw. So at the maximum, you can draw 2 parallel tangents. Now if I am taking like this, its tangent will be like this. Okay, so again you can have at most 2 tangents. Next thing is, the common point of a tangent to a circle and the circle is called, what is that common point called? The tangent and the circle meet at a point, and that point is called the point of contact. Okay, that's all for your second question. Question number 3 is, a tangent PQ at a point P of a circle of radius 5 cm meets a line through the center O at a point Q, so that OQ is equal to 12 cm. Length of PQ is, you have to find out the length of PQ. First we will draw a rough figure, that is, a circle is given and a tangent to this circle at P, that is a line which is tangent to the circle at the point P is given, and they are saying that from the center O at a point Q, okay, PQ is the, suppose this is Q, at a point Q you have a line meets the line at the point Q, and that, so that the OQ length is given to be 12 cm. And again radius is given to be 5 cm, that means OP will be radius, right? You will have OP as 5 cm. Now you have to find out PQ means, we will apply the theorem. What was the theorem? The radius and the tangent at the point of contact will be perpendicular to each other. That means at the point of contact, this radius and the tangent will be perpendicular to each other. So you are getting triangle OPQ to be a right angled triangle. That means you can use Pythagoras theorem to get the side PQ. Okay, now a triangle OPQ is right angled at P. Okay, it is right angled at P. So what you will get, therefore, by Pythagoras theorem, you will get OQ square is equal to hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square. So you will get OP square plus PQ square. Now you have to find out what is PQ. For that, PQ square is equal to OQ square minus OP square. It is equal to OQ is 12, so it is 12 square minus OP square is 15 square. So 144 minus 25, which is 119. And this is PQ square. And what you need is PQ. It will give you root of 119 centimeters. So option D is the right answer. Okay. Fourth question is, draw a circle and two lines parallel to a given line such that one is a tangent and the other a secant to the circle. So a circle is drawn, two parallel lines have been drawn, of which one is a secant, that is AB is a secant, and CD is a tangent at the point P. Okay, so AB is a secant to the circle and CD is a tangent to the circle at P, and both AB and CD are parallel. Okay.